Hey everyone, welcome back. This week's topic is sure to blow you away. You might be thinking, wait, what if I don't stay close to them or don't constantly try to get their attention? What if someone else catches their eye? Well, folks, that's where the Stoic magic comes in. Pay close attention, because this video is going to completely change the way your relationship works. Whether you're trying to start a new relationship or are navigating a distant friendship, trying to convince someone to stay feels like grasping onto sand. No matter how hard you try to hang on, it will never go the way you want it to. Let's get started. Perhaps the spark in your relationship has faded, and you're trying to rekindle it, but the more you push, the more forced it feels and the more distant they become, so forget about chasing or flirting. Or perhaps you're trying to attract someone new, and you're doing everything to impress them like a magician trying to wow an audience. Sure, it works for a moment, but when the tricks stop, so does their attention. Before we go any further, let's reaffirm our commitment to this change. As our Stoic friend once said, "What you think you become, repeat after me. I am a Stoic magnet." Instead of running after someone, develop your own strength and calmness. When you're steady and confident in yourself, people will naturally be drawn to you. You won't need to work for their attention. They will feel your energy and come closer because they want to, not because you're trying to convince them. Declare it out loud, my friends. Tell them in the comments that you are no longer dancing to their music. You are now a Stoic magnet, and they will be pulled to you. All right, let's move on. Music. I'm going to share with you an 8-step Stoic recipe that will enable you to drastically change the course of your romantic life. All you have to do is follow these 8 stages to attract Stoicism, the type of person that effortlessly draws others in without pursuing or persuading. But before we get into these tactics, let's grasp the fundamental idea that connects them all: managing your thoughts. Yes, friends, this is the essence of Stoicism. You see, when you lose control over your thoughts and actions, you become desperate for their validation and attention. You start chasing after them like a dog chasing its tail, running in circles but never getting anywhere. This is where we make the biggest mistakes in relationships. We believe that if we keep trying and persuading them that they will eventually see our value, but in reality, the harder we chase, the faster they run. Epictetus once stated that the only worthy goal in life is freedom. Your thoughts are your true power, so when you let them run wild and fixated on receiving approval, you lose control over yourself. You cease living your life for yourself and begin living it for someone else's attention. This is not being a Stoic magnet, it's being a puppet on strings. So the first thing we need to do is cease granting them authority over your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. As soon as you make that change, returning your attention to yourself, you begin to glow differently and walk through life with a sense of peace and purpose. And guess what? That's when people start to notice that you're drawn to them, not because you're trying to attract them, but because of your confidence and calmness, which is irresistible. This is what it means to be a Stoic magnet. When you're composed, calm, and in control of your thoughts, you become like a rock in a river. The water flows around you, but you stay steady, unflinching. You're not chasing attention, you're just being, and others will naturally gravitate toward that energy. This is the mindset that will carry you through every relationship, whether it's igniting a fading flame or navigating difficult times with a friend. Before we go over the 8 strategies that will transform you into a Stoic magnet, I need your entire attention right now. This is the cornerstone, the secret to everything. If you can manage your ideas, you can control your relationships. If you stop allowing other people's reactions rule you, you can control yourself, and everything else will fall into place. As our wise Stoic friend Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." So go ahead and quickly state in the comments, "I am a Stoic magnet." Stay with me now, because we are about to embark on the steps that will change everything. If you haven't declared that affirmation in the comments yet, now is the time to do so. Let this lead you to the calm, strength, and confidence we have been discussing. Now that you have that level of assurance, let's dive in to step 1, letting go of fear. This is the first and most important step in our Stoic recipe to create a Stoic magnet. Once you incorporate fear into your personality, everything changes. You become desperate, chasing after people in an attempt to win their approval, and will stop at nothing to keep them in your life. But fear is precisely what makes them drift away. Imagine this: you're trying to attract someone new. You start feeling anxious, worried that they might not like you back. So you start overthinking every move, texting them more constantly, trying to impress, bending over backward to make them stay interested. At this point, you're not showing them your true self. You're showing them the version of you that's controlled by fear. And guess what? People can sense that desperation a mile away. It's like trying to hold on to a bar of soap. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips out of your hands. But what happens when you let go of that fear, when you stop caring about whether or not they're into you? Suddenly you become relaxed, confident, and in control. You stop chasing, and as a result, people start being naturally drawn to you. Letting go of fear turns you into a Stoic magnet. You no longer rely on anyone else to make you feel complete. You're complete on your own. And that energy is incredibly attractive now. I know what you might be thinking: easier said than done, right? Naturally, fear is difficult to overcome. But the truth is that fear is a thought that you have control over, just like any other idea. Epicus once said, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." In other words, fear arises from your perception of the situation, not from it. Therefore, in order to truly let go of fear, you must first recognize when it is beginning to creep in. The next time you find yourself worrying about losing someone or trying to persuade someone to stay in your life, stop and ask yourself, what am I so afraid of? Most of the time, it's fear of rejection, fear of being alone, or fear of not being sufficient. However, keep in mind that these fears are imagined and only exist in your mind, so they cannot actually control you. Let's take a relationship example. What, instead of running after them, you'd be demonstrating to them your self-assurance and security, and that, my friend, is someone you can trust. Imagine if you choose to put more emphasis on your personal development and well-being than on their acceptance. Magnetic dread breeds dependency. Confidence comes from letting go of fear. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence, and that confidence only comes when you've let go of the fear of rejection or failure. Let's add a little humor here. Imagine you're at a party and someone is frantically running around trying to make everyone like them. They're cracking jokes, refilling drinks, and making sure everyone's happy. It's exhausting just watching them right now. Think of it like this: the person who walks into the room with their head held high, calm and at ease, draws attention. The secret to letting rid of fear is to picture the person who is content and laughing while sitting comfortably. That person is the one that everyone gravitates toward, not because they are trying to win people over, but rather because they don't need to. You cease to require their affirmation and approval, and ironically, the less you depend on them, the more attractive you become. So, how can you apply this to your life? Let's start small. The next time you find yourself obsessing over someone's opinion, remind yourself that their approval does not define your worth. It's simply a thought. Take a deep breath, let it go, and if it feels difficult, that's okay. Growth isn't meant to be easy. Every time you catch yourself slipping into fear and choose to let it go, you're strengthening your mental muscles. It's like working out. As the Stoics say, we suffer more in our imaginations than in reality, and most of the things we fear won't even come true. You'll start to notice how much lighter and more confident you feel in the end when you learn to let go of fear. You shouldn't waste your time worrying about worst-case situations because they rarely come true. Releasing yourself from fear is the most effective way to turn into a Stoic magnet. My friends, let's end this with a potent affirmation. It frees you from the need to prove your value to anyone. Instead, you can simply live your life with confidence, knowing that people who genuinely respect you will find you. Shut your eyes and repeat what I said. I'm a Stoic magnet. Declare to the universe, I am a Stoic magnet, and let go of the fear that has been holding you back. The right people will come into your life because they will see your strength, confidence, and composure. Let the universe know that you have let go of fear, and now is the time for the world to come to you. If, at this point, you have any questions or would like to discuss it with someone, feel free to do so in the comments section. If, on the other hand, everything is crystal clear and this video has helped you, go ahead and hit the like button to let me know how much you appreciate this content. If you're ready to dive deeper, let's go, Stoic Magnets. Step 2 of our Stoic recipe is about to begin. Now, my Stoic Magnets, let's get started with the second potent ingredient in our recipe. Visualize success. I know what you might be thinking. Visualizing success seems a little too simple, doesn't it? But trust me when I say that this step is absolutely necessary if you want to become a Stoic Magnet. So why is it such a big deal? Let's break it down. Imagine for a moment that you are going into a situation where you want to attract someone's attention. It could be a casual chat, a first date, or even reconnecting with a partner who has become distant. What's the first thing that usually happens? Doubt. You start thinking, what if this doesn't work out? What if they aren't into me? What if I say the wrong thing? Before you even enter the situation, you're already acting out the worst-case scenario in your head. This isn't just motivational talk. It's based on the Stoic philosophy according to Epictetus. Guess what? If you constantly seeing yourself failing or being rejected, you're putting yourself in a position where you act out of fear and insecurity, which drives people away. But what if we reverse the script? What if you begin imaging everything going right instead of thinking of all the many ways things could go wrong? You can see yourself entering the room or having the conversation with confidence, speaking clearly and being your best self. You might also see them smiling, interacting, and enjoying your company. Imagine this. You're ready to meet someone new instead of focusing on what could go wrong. Visualizing success sets the tone for how your mind and body follow the path your ideas establish. It's not just about feeling good. Shut your eyes and visualize everything going as planned. You enter with a confident demeanor, exude ease and authenticity, and you can tell that the discussion is flowing easily between you as you laugh and connect. The mood is lighthearted, joyful, and delightful. You feel fantastic knowing that you presented as the greatest version of yourself. Visualizing success helps you prepare for reality, which increases your likelihood of acting confidently, handling the situation with ease, and being less rattled by small setbacks. I know this seems too fantastic to be true. It's as though you've already experienced it in your mind, so when the actual thing occurs, you're prepared for it. However, let's face it, visualizing success isn't always simple. At times, it can feel like you're deceiving yourself, especially if you're prone to self-doubt or negative thinking. This is completely normal, so how can you overcome that? Here's the trick to using visualization to help you when it feels tough. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You're training your brain to expect success rather than failure. This is where things get really cool. If you're not ready to visualize the entire situation going perfectly, start small and concentrate on just one small part. Maybe it's how you'll feel when you walk into the room with confidence. Or maybe it's imagining the sound of laughter when the conversation is going well. The universe reacts to the energy you project. When you visualize success, you begin to radiate confidence. You cease pursuing approval and trying too hard to impress others. Instead, you begin drawing people in with your calm and confident energy. This is precisely what it means to be a Stoic Magnet. Consider the last time you encountered someone who exuded confidence without being conceited. They didn't need to brag or go overboard, and yet everyone wanted to be around them. This is what happens when you visualize success and embody it. You cease seeking affirmation from others because you've already validated yourself in your own mind. Let me give you a humorous example. Imagine a sports team. Before a big game, they don't sit around thinking about losing. Instead, they image themselves pulling off the winning play, scoring the goal, and earning the trophy. The reason for this is that when people visualize success, they prime themselves to act in ways that bring about that success. This same principle also holds true for relationships. If you see yourself succeeding in your mind, you're more likely to act in ways that lead to success in real life. Now, let's get a little stoic about this. According to Marcus Aurelius, the quality of your thoughts determines how happy you are. Enhancing the quality of your thoughts to align with your actions is the key to visualizing success. When you maintain a good outlook on life, your emotions level off and you cease responding. How can you apply this to your everyday life? Make visualization a habit. Before a big meeting, date, or even just a casual conversation with someone you care about, take a few minutes to close your eyes and see it going well. Picture every detail. Feel the emotions you want to experience. Breathe into that confidence. If it feels difficult at first, don't stress. Practice makes perfect. Start small, perhaps visualizing how you'll feel calm and collected. Over time, you'll get better at seeing the big picture of success. Let me conclude with an affirmation that will help you maintain this mindset. The more you do it, the more you educate your brain to expect success, and the more natural it becomes. Repeat after me, I'm a stoic magnet. Declare it aloud and let the universe know that you are no longer doubting yourself. You see your success, you feel it, and you're ready to live it. Go ahead and drop that affirmation in the comments section if you haven't already. I am a stoic magnet. Say it confidently. Visualize yourself as that serene magnetic force that draws people in effortlessly. The next steps in our path are even more empowering, so let's go real and make it happen. You definitely need those elements in your stoic recipe. Let's go further into these steps. Step 3. Do your best and let go. All right, stoic friends. Now that we've overcome our fear and are on the path of becoming stoic magnets, it's time for another essential component of our recipe. Do your best and let go. This means that you should stop worrying about things that are out of your control and instead focus on doing what you can do with all of your might without worrying about the results. For example, let's say you're trying to get into a relationship or are trying to meet someone new. You're doing everything you can to impress them, showing them your best self, being thoughtful, giving it your all. But here's the catch. It's like baking a cake and sitting there watching it in the oven, constantly opening the door, afraid it won't rise. You're doing everything you can, but once it's in the oven, you can't control the cake, and guess what? All that worry ruins the process. That's why the key is to do your best and then let go. Once you start obsessing over whether they'll like you back, you enter dangerous territory. As Seneca famously stated, the biggest hindrance to living is expectation, which depends on tomorrow and wastes today. You've done your part, put in the effort, shown up, and done everything you could to influence the outcome. It's beyond your control, and no amount of worrying or persuasion will make it different. You've already done your best. When you stop expecting a certain outcome, you make room for things to unfold organically. Here's where the true power of being a stoic magnet manifests itself. Let's say you've scheduled a nice date and are attempting to rekindle a fading spark in your relationship. You're trying to get back in touch, but here's the thing. The more you try to force things, the less natural it feels, and the more committed you are in making sure everything goes flawlessly, the more pressure there is, which ultimately drives them away. Instead, concentrate on carrying out your best plan. The goal of Stoicism is to show up, give your all, and trust the process rather than worrying about the outcome. Think of it like planting a seed. You can water it, give it sunlight, and take care of it, but you can't force it to grow. It will grow in its own time and at its own pace. On this date, be present and present yourself as the best version of yourself. However, once you've done that, let go of trying to control their reaction. You can't control how they feel, but you can control how you handle yourself. However, this doesn't mean you stop caring or slack off. The same goes for friendships, relationships, and other aspects of life. Give it your all to nurture it, but then step back and let it be. When you adopt this mindset, you'll notice a shift in people's perceptions of you. They'll notice that you're confident, calm, and not grasping at straws in the hopes that things will work out. Instead, you're at peace knowing that you've done your best, and that kind of energy is magnetic. People are drawn to people who don't frantically trying to control every aspect of their lives. You become more attractive simply because you're not worrying about what will happen next. To begin implementing this mindset, daily remind yourself that you are in control of your actions, not the results. When you catch yourself worrying about whether someone will text you back, Whether the date will go well, or whether they'll like you, pause and say, "I've done my best and I'm letting go." Focus on the process rather than the outcome. This may seem challenging at first because we are naturally predisposed to care about the results, but that is the beauty of Stoicism. After practicing the art of letting go and finding serenity, you will understand that worrying about the past will not change the present. Rather, it will rob you of it. As Marcus Aurelius sagely observed, you are in control of your thoughts, not external circumstances. When you let go of the urge for everything to go out perfectly, you'll find a new type of freedom and power that comes from knowing that your best is enough and that you don't need to control what happens. Let us conclude with our declaration. Step 4. Value your time, folks. This is the fourth potent component in our Stoic formula. Repeat after me. I do my best and I let go. Say it confidently. Declare it loud. Drop it in the comments. If you can let the world know that you're no longer a slave to outcomes. Instead, you're a Stoic magnet. Do your best. Trust that everything will fall into place exactly as it should. Let's move forward with this mindset, ready to conquer whatever comes our way. Simple yet crucial is the magnet recipe. If you don't respect your time, then why should anyone else? Your time is the most valuable resource you own. Once it's gone, it can never be recovered, so don't waste it on unworthy people. What if, instead, you spent that time on yourself, your growth, and your passions? You would become a Stoic magnet by demonstrating to people that your time is valuable and that you won't waste it chasing people. Here's an entertaining example. Imagine this. You're constantly texting someone, waiting for their response, rearranging your schedule just to be available for them, or even worse, sitting around, hoping they'll notice you. When you treat your time like a VIP ticket to an exclusive concert, other people will begin to see it that way as well. After all, you wouldn't just hand that out to everyone. Only those who genuinely deserve it get in. According to Marcus Aurelius, a man should fear never starting to live rather than dying. Don't waste your life waiting for someone else to die. Instead, use your time effectively. People will notice when you're not always present. People begin to understand that in order to be a part of your life, they must work. So how do you value your time? Establish boundaries. Don't give up everything for someone who only shows you half of their attention. Instead, concentrate on things that make you happy, grow, and fulfill you. If someone genuinely wants to be in your life, they will respect your time and work hard to earn it. If it's hard to set boundaries at first, remember that this is about respecting yourself. You can't be a Stoic magnet if you're always available. Instead, let's affirm together that we value our time, and as you move forward, observe how the world begins to respect that time as well. Step 5. Embrace detachment. All right, folks. The next essential component in our Stoic magnet recipe is a game changer. Now, this doesn't mean that you stop caring about people or circumstances. Rather, it means that you stop depending on them for your happiness. Consider this. When you become emotionally attached to someone's attention or outcome, you become obsessed, stressed, anxious, and desperate to make things happen. Just picture yourself constantly checking your phone for their message, waiting for that validation. Exhausting and, yes, chasing. But what if, instead of worrying about their response, you detached? You're not cold or indifferent. Rather, you're just not dependent on their reaction for your peace of mind. Here's an easy example. Assume you are planting a seed. You give it water, sunlight, and care, but then you must let nature take its course. You cannot sit there worrying constantly about whether the seed will grow. Instead, you must trust the process and let it happen. That's detached. You've fulfilled your responsibility and are now letting go of the result. Epicus advised making the most of what you can manage and letting go of the rest. When you embrace detachment, you cease attempting to control everything and are suddenly released from the roller coaster of emotions. Because your sense of tranquility and confidence aren't dependent on anyone or anything outside of yourself, you become a Stoic magnet to those who are naturally drawn to those who don't need continual validation. How can one begin to accept detachment? Put the process first rather than the result. Give it your all in every circumstance, and if people like you, let them. If not, you're still fantastic. It's that easy. So let's both declare, I embrace detachment, allowed to my stoic magnets, to inform the cosmos that you're attracting rather than chasing. Observe how people get closer to you when you stop needing them. Step 6. Express gratitude. This is the sixth and final ingredient in our stoic magnet recipe. It's something that's frequently disregarded but has a lot of power. You might be asking yourself, how does gratitude make me more attractive? Well, let me tell you that it's a game changer. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you radiate positivity, and that kind of energy attracts people like a magnet. When you practice gratitude, you become like the person who's enjoying the moment, the company, the vibe, and making others feel good. That energy is contagious. Imagine this. You're trying to attract someone, but instead of worrying about whether they're paying attention to you, you start appreciating the people already in your life, the moments of joy you've experienced, and the opportunities you have suddenly. You're not seeking validation from them because you're already filled with gratitude for the good things around you, and that's when they notice you. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When you live in gratitude, you're content in the present. You have an attitude of abundance, and that abundance is magnetic. The best way to start incorporating gratitude into your life is to start small. Every day, take a moment to think about 3 things for which you are grateful, no matter how small. Over time, you'll notice a shift in your mindset, feeling more content, at peace, and in tune with the positive energy around you. If it seems difficult at first, don't worry. Gratitude is like a muscle that gets stronger with practice. Together, let's affirm this. I live in gratitude. Say it loudly. Step 7. Observe how life and those around you begin to gravitate toward that wonderful energy. I live in appreciation. Okay, people, it's time to control your emotions as we discuss a key component of our Stoic magnet recipe. Control your emotions. This one changes the game. When you keep your emotions in check, you project strength, calmness, and confidence that attracts people to you like a magnet. When your emotions run wild, however, you lose control, and people can sense that instability. Let's face it, relationships can elicit a wide range of feelings: anxiety, frustration, and jealousy. Perhaps you sent a message and didn't hear back, and now all of a sudden you're going into a tailspin, imagining the worst-case scenarios, or you're upset because you feel like you deserve more attention from someone. These kinds of emotional reactions, while common, don't help you. In fact, they push people away. Imagine this: instead of reacting, pausing, experiencing the feelings rising, but rather than allowing them to dominate you, you inhale, name the emotion, and then allow it to pass. People are drawn to emotional stability and stoicism because, as Seneca once said, he who is brave is free. When you have the courage to control your emotions, you are freed from having your emotions thrown around by everything that happens, and you become a rock that is unshakable by life's ups and downs. How can you apply this in real-life situations? Awareness. The next time you sense an emotional wave coming on, take a moment to think before you react. Most of the time, the answer is no, and over time, developing the practice of pausing and thinking helps you become more in control of your emotional reactions. It takes practice to develop emotional control, but the more you do it, the stronger you get. Keep in mind that people are drawn to those who can manage their emotions with grace. If it feels hard, that's okay. Together, let's declare, I control my emotions. Stoic magnets, say it loud. I'm in charge of my emotions. Once you master this, you're not just drawing people in, you're also demanding respect. All right, so let that sink in. My unwavering magnets. We have completed all the effective steps, and now we come to the last one. Letting it all sink in. This is where everything we have discussed comes together, and the real magic happens. You have the tools, the strategies, and the mindset. So now is the time to own it. Just as you wouldn't rush to serve a dish before it's ready, instead, you would let it sit and allow the flavors to develop. Similarly, becoming a stoic magnet isn't a sudden transformation. Rather, it takes time. However, trust me, once you reach this point, people will begin to notice that you cease chasing them, and they will be drawn to your composed, confident energy. As Epicus once said, nothing great is created overnight. Just as a beautiful tree takes time to grow, so too does your journey to become a stoic magnet. You've already completed the necessary steps to let go of fear, value your time, control your thoughts, and now let it become a part of your everyday life. You may be wondering, what if I slip up? What if I find myself going back to old habits? That's okay. We're human. The key is to recognize when you're slipping and then gently return to the lessons you've learned. Otherwise, you risk reinforcing those stoic habits. How do you let it all sink in? Be patient with yourself. You've sown the seeds of confidence, self-worth, and emotional control. Now let them grow each day. Recollect the actions you've taken, and let's wrap up with one last affirmation. Trust the process. With time, you'll notice a change in how you feel about yourself and how other people react to you. I'm a stoic magnet. This was our video for today, a powerful recipe to turn yourself into a stoic magnet. If this lesson resonated with you, please like this video and drop a keep it up in the comments to let me know you made it to the end and that I wasn't just talking to the wind. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Say it confidently, declare it loud, let the universe respond, and enjoy the results. Keep shining, my stoic magnets.